Hello everybody, it's Eric Strock with Stone Valley Hobby and Games. This video is a continuation of Marvel Champions. Marvel Champions, as you may know, we started off, we took good old webhead Spider-Man and we pitted him against a very vicious and tough Rhino. And that went pretty well. But we decided to up our game. The second villain in the box is Klaw, the evil vicious Klaw. So the difficulty for Rhino is kind of a base 1, and the difficulty for Klaw is a base 2. And I can tell you right out of the box, Klaw is much more difficult than Rhino. Not only does he hit harder because he gets basically a double bonus to his attack, but he also schemes much more effectively. And there's a lot more cards in the bad guy deck that will throw it way out into his favor, so it can spin out of control really, really quick. And the key is to stay, once again, just like with Spider-Man against Rhino, you got to stay aggressive. You have to know when to pull back. You have to know when to reach forward. So I need help, folks. This Klaw is a tough character, so I reached into the deck of many things, and I pulled out of the bag a Captain Marvel, hopefully, good luck, lanyard. So we're going to go ahead and strap this thing on. And maybe Captain Marvel from beyond can channel some of her power down to me, and we can maneuver this thing through and win. So come on, won't you folks, to Captain Marvel versus the Klaw. Let's go get him. All right, well, let's get to it. Let me tell you something. This base Captain Marvel starter deck is not that good against the Klaw deck. So as you can see, you'll have the starter decks. The rules, the book gives you a really good instructions on what cards to move in and move out of each deck. So you just set them up the way it says. What we're going to do here is it's going to be off the base game. So so far I'm not doing very well against the Klaw. I think I've played the Klaw 6 times so far and I've only beaten him once. It's just I must be on the really bad end of all sorts of, because he can roll. Once he starts to roll, he can roll his schemes and he can roll his minions, and it gets really, really ugly really quick. And as you can see on the game, though, we have the nice game mat here. It's really good, and we also have and you've seen the standard cards for Carol Danvers looks like that, and Captain Marvel looks like that. But for this game, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this version. It looks a little more like an actual comic book cover, and then on the back side it's a little more of a full art photo. So we're going to use this version, and we're going to start off with Carol Danvers. So how to get this and how to get the playmat, keep an eye on my game site, on my store, Stone Valley Hobby and Games site, and you will see how to get both the mat and a set of these cards for all the heroes in the base game for absolutely free. So more on that coming out. But in this game, I need all the help I can get. Not only do I kind of use the lanyard, maybe that'll help out, but you know this as the player token, and since it's solo player, it would be in front of me the whole game, but I need an upgrade, so I'm going to put that away, and I'm going to go with this. So this is going to be my player 1 token throughout the game. Hopefully it does what it needs to do and puts me over the top against the evil vicious Klaw. So how the game is set up, I have the board set up this way. I've been playing for a while now, and inside of the book it has a way to set it up, but I kind of like this flows for me naturally, but everybody could do it however way they like. Around the table I have the player phase reference and villain phase reference. This set of cards is the set aside for the Nemesis. If you get an encounter card that tells you what to do, you'll put those in the game. These tokens are for damage. These tokens are to add threat to the scheme. And these are general tokens and other things that you can use as the game requires. So the Klaw, the way the game always goes is you get to go first before anything happens with the Klaw. I've already went ahead and pulled the defense network out. It's going to tell you to do that, so instead of having to shuffle again, I'm just going to save a little bit of time and pull that out, and I'm going to go ahead and randomize these cards while I'm explaining other parts of the game to you. So The one thing about the reason that the Klaw is so difficult with Carol Danvers is she has her to hit powers are very expensive. They usually are very like 3. And she's got some energy boosts in her deck, but they usually don't happen to come around at the same time that you need them. So you fall behind there. Her minions are way weaker than the Klaw's minions. The minions that you get to start, your little hero friends for the Captain Marvel deck, is nowhere near as powerful as the Klaw's minions. So really, you can't ever hold back. And you have to somehow get the combination of attack. So again, like I said a second ago, the attack cards are relatively expensive, but also he has the ability to go into side schemes way more aggressively than the Rhino did. So it hasn't been, but the times I've played Klaw, it's not surprising to start off with his first turn with 1 or 2 minions and 1 or 2 side schemes already set up. Well, at least 2 side schemes, sometimes more. So that's really hard to combat. So usually in the game like this, it's back and forth. You got to know when to switch from Carol Danvers back to Captain Marvel. But it's even more dire this time because he gets such an advantage both with scheme and with attack. You have to have the cards in your hand to match whatever your hero needs to be. So much more than Peter Parker, Spider-Man versus Rhino, it's a combination of having the right cards in your hand and having her in the right form. So we'll play through this and you'll get a sense of what I'm talking about. But if the cards flow my way properly, which you never know, that's why we do this, but hopefully a little tokens of power and good luck will go a long way if you're into that kind of thing. But cards are fickle, just like fate itself. So we will see what we can do here. But feel pretty good. And as I go through this, I'll be explaining what's on the card, and hopefully hopefully you can follow along if you've played this a little bit. If not, just kind of get used to the flow of what I'm doing. I'll try to make it a little thematic. I get carried away and because a lot of the times I'm looking at what I need to do, and for my ability to talk and think at the same time, sometimes those are disconnected, so I may take a pause. So just bear with me if that happens, but it won't be too long. So the way it starts off is Carol Danvers, you get a hand size of 6, so I'm going to draw 6. And right off the bat, some of the things that Carol likes to do is she likes to be in the air. So looking through this very quickly, I'm going to pay, so the way this works, and as you can see in my hand here, the way it works is the card, this up here is the cost of the card, and then you also use the cards to spend. So down here there's a symbol, like that's a little lightning bolt energy symbol. Down here that's a little fist symbol for fighting, and then there's this symbol, it's like a little science symbol, right? So that one is 2. You can use, each one of those is worth 1 resource, and then up in the corner is how much resources it costs. And then sometimes there's bonuses in the words, so that if you use a resource of a certain kind, you get a bonus along with it. So looking at this, I'm thinking I'm going to pay 2 to get aerial. So most of the benefit cards when it comes to Captain Marvel are to get her in the air. So that gives her aerial upgrade. And then I'm going to pay the other 3. Actually, I'm going to use her commander action to draw a card, limit 1 per round. And it is Spider-Woman. So Spider-Woman, actually what I'll do is I'll pay 1, 2, and 3 to put Spider-Woman into play. And as it enters play, confuse the villain. So confusion is the next time this character with thwart or scheme, discard the status card instead. And I'm going to leave Carol Danvers in this form then, since... Actually, let me think for a second. Yeah. That way when he goes to scheme, nothing will happen. So basically it'll give me an extra turn. All right, so also I'm going to attack with the Spider-Woman for 2. And this little, you can see on the card, it's got a little star underneath, a hollow star under thwart or attack. That means she takes 1 damage whenever she causes her normal attack. So she takes 1, and this number here is how much she has, so she only has 2 to start off with. To do 2 damage, so it takes him to 10. And then I unexhaust my characters, and I draw to 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then I pass the turn to Klaw. So happens first is Klaw. The attack on the shield facility has been linked to an underground weapons network. Contents is Klaw 1 and 2. Klaw 1 and 2 is right behind him. Klaw and standard encounter sets, it's in there, and 1 modular encounter set, recommended Masters of Evil. And Masters of Evil are no joke, those minions are tough. Set up a search the encounter deck for the Defense Network side scheme, and since I knew that was coming, I already had it set up. So I'll pause that while I read the Defense Network side scheme. Klaw's criminal enterprise is protected by a gang of hired thugs. When revealed, place an additional 1 per player threat here. So we take our threat, and on the defense scheme, the number down here is how much the threat starts with, and then we add 1 more. And this symbol here means that I can't take anything off the main scheme until this one is done. So it starts off with 3. And then I continue. Underground distribution. Your investigation reveals that the criminal enterprise is operated by Klaw, an old rival of the Avengers. When revealed, discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play engaged with the first player. So we will discard cards. Oh, there it is. The very first one is Melter. And it says the engaged player must defend against Melter's attacks with an ally they control if able. And because Melter came out before the turn actually even started, he'll get to attack this turn. So what that's going to do is it's going to basically kill my Spider-Woman before anything else happens. Well, actually, no, he'll scheme because she's in. All right, so now Klaw will scheme. Normally I would draw to add to the scheme, but since he's confused, I won't. So that gets rid of the confused. And when this underground distribution came up, it got 1. And so the Melter puts 1 more on it. So it starts with 2. And it goes back to my turn. Reading real quick some things I got here. Okay. I can choose a player to draw a card. I'll be the one who does that, to draw a card. Save that one. Okay, I'm going to pay 1, 2 for an upgrade of combat training, which gives me +1 to attack. Then I'm going to switch to Captain Marvel. And so this melter has a power of 5. I'm going to attack him for 2, which takes the Spider-Woman out. And I'm going to attack Melter again for 3. Her attack is 2 plus 1 is 3. So that takes out the Melter. And then I'm going to pay Chase Them Down. When after a hero attacks and defeats an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme. I'll remove 2 threat from the defense network. I'm going to pay 2 more. Even though I hate to do it, I just don't want to get behind this. For Crisis Interdiction, remove 2 threat from a scheme. There's only 1 left on this one. If you have the aerial trait, which is here, remove 2 threat from a different scheme. So that one takes that one back to 0. And I'm going to unexhaust and draw to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pass the turn to Klaw. So the first thing we do is we put a threat on the underground distribution. And he's going to attack. So his attack is special. He gets an additional boost card. So his first boost is I am not going to defend. His first boost is none. And his second boost is also none. That's actually never happened before. So now it's the encounter card. Caught off guard. Discard an upgrade or support you control. If no cards are discarded this way, this card gains surge. So I'm going to discard combat training. I guess I forgot how to do all that. Fight 'em up stuff. All right. So swings back to my turn. I'm going to save those 2 for later. Not a whole lot I can do this turn with the cards I have in hand, but I'm going to pay Helicarrier and Energy Channel for the Captain Marvel's helmet, which gives me +2 defense if I have aerial, so it's a total defense of 3. And then I'm going to attack for 2 to take him to 8. Then I'm going to, let's see, yeah, I'll leave it like that. So I will unexhaust Captain Marvel and draw to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first thing you do is you put a threat on the scheme there. Then she's in Captain Marvel form, so he's going to attack. He gets 2 bonuses to his attack, and she is, let me think, is she going to defend? I'm going to have her defend this time for 3. So you exhaust her. First one is 1, second one is 2 for 3. So she takes no damage. Then the encounter card, Gang Up. When revealed in hero mode, the villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. So basically he attacks again. And since she already defended, these ones are going to come through. So every time he attacks, you get additional boost cards. So the first one is 1. The second one is a star. And it says put weapon runner into play engaged with you. So I take 1 damage from that, and I have weapon runner engaged with me now. So switch back to my turn. And I'm going to, so she's already exhausted. Alright, so I'm going to pay Power of Aggression, max 2 per deck, double the number of resources this card generates while paying for an aggressive red card. I'm going to pay 1 more for Uppercut, and I'm going to deal 5 damage to Klaw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to swap her to Carol Danvers and draw a card due to her action. And that's the end of my turn. I'm going to unexhaust her and draw to her hand size, which is 6. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then I will pass the turn to the Klaw. So first thing we do is we put a scheme on. So then his scheme's 2, and he adds 1 damage to each hero. She's not in hero form, so he adds 2 scheme. The weapons runner adds a scheme, and that takes us to 6. So when that happens, we go to 2A. Klaw's found a buyer for his illegal weapons. It's up to you to stop the sale, but the meeting is surrounded by Klaw's cronies. When revealed, discards cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play. It's another weapons runner. Advance to stage 2B. Klaw's meeting with the Crimson Cowl. Klaw and the mysterious figure dart into the shadows when you confront them, and Klaw's minions move in to cover their escape. So if this stage is complete, I lose the game. It starts off with 1 scheme on it. And that was the scheming part. So now it's the encounter part. Each Masters of Evil minion attacks a hero if it's engaged with. If no attacks are made this way, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Masters of Evil minion and put it into play engaged with you. Then shuffle. So let's see. Masters of Evil. Well, we got the Melter. And since it's since I didn't touch the counter deck, I'll leave it alone to save a little time. So then it's my turn. So just that quick, you got another side scheme, and now I got 3 minions against me, just like that. And he wasn't even in attack form. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a card from her power, and it's Strength. I'm going to pay 4 for the Avengers Mansion. I'm going to pay 1 for Alpha Flight Station. And the way that works is I can discard 1 card from my hand and draw 1 card or 2 cards if it's Carol. I'm going to discard Crisis Interdiction to draw 2 cards. Tap that. I'm going to tap the Avengers Mansion to draw another card. Then I'm going to switch to Captain Marvel. I'm going to pay 2 for the Hulk. And I'm going to attack the Melter for 3. And then you discard a card as part of that action. It is a science symbol, and science symbol says discard the Hulk. So that was something. And then I'm going to finish off the Melter by attacking for 2 more. Then I'm going to unexhaust and draw to 5. All right, first thing I do when it comes over to the bad guy's side is I throw it on the scheme. And since I'm in Captain Marvel, he's going to attack, and he's going to get a bonus. So I have to discard 1 random card from my hand. Well, that's fun. Well, that's annoying. And then he gets 1 more. 1. So he attacks me for 1. I take 1. Then the weapons runner attacks me and attacks me. And I will go to 8. Then their encounter card is Sonic Converter. It's an attachment for the old Klaw there. Then the turn passes back to me. I'm going to tap Avengers Mansion to draw a card. I'm going to pay 3 for energy absorption to bring out Tigra. And I'm going to attack a minion, defeat a minion with her. And the way it works is every time you defeat a minion with her, you heal 1, so she basically doesn't take a hit. I can't get rid of that sonic weapon yet. I do not want to get hit by it. So I'm going to switch to Carol Danvers and to draw a card. And then I'm going to discard a card to draw 2 cards. I'm going to discard Tenacity and draw 2. I'm going to use the Power Up Aggression, which gives me double number of resources while playing a red card to get a combat training out. I guess I remembered what I was doing after all. And then I will exhaust Carol to heal for 4. Takes me back to 12. Then it's the end of my turn. I unexhaust my players and draw to 6. So when you draw your last card, you take an encounter card and you set it aside. So that encounter card will show up when he gets another encounter, is basically what that means. And I get 1 more card. Excuse me, so I'm going to shuffle these. And while I'm shuffling, you can see the state of the game. Klaw is definitely holding his own. Haven't even gotten to his number 2 yet, and I've already gone through my deck once. All right. So I draw 1 more. Takes me to 6 cards. All right. So Klaw is not going to attack with a Sonic Converter. He's going to scheme for 2 and add 2 to it, so that's 4. So he already has 6. 2 more and he wins. And the Weapon Runner takes him to 7. So this could be the last one. And the 1 encounter card is a side scheme, Masters of Evil. Discard cards from the encounter deck until a Masters of Evil minion is discarded. So there's 1 right there. Put that minion into play, engage with the first player. And then second encounter, regular encounter card. I either spend those resources or exhaust each character I control, which would basically mean I skip a turn. So the resources are 1 of each, and I don't even have 1 of each. So that's unfortunate timing. And this one starts with 3, and it adds a boost, which means the next, so this is basically my last turn unless I can get some threat off of that rendezvous card. Adds a boost. It's a temporary boost, but it's a boost nonetheless. So I'm going to use the Avengers Mansion to draw a card. I'm going to use her power to draw a card. I'm going to discard this card to draw 2 more. Okay, I do not think I have the ability — Hmm. — maybe, just maybe I can do something here. this as well. All right, so I need as many crisis interdictions as I can get. 2 threat from a scheme, then if I have the aerial trait, remove 2 threats from a different scheme. And she's got aerial trait here. So I'm going to pay for it once. So 2 from this one. And 2 from this one. Okay, this is paying for it 2 more times completely. Alex, let me just pay for it one at a time here. So 2 from this one, so that gets rid of this scheme, gets rid of the accelerator, and I can take 2 off of the main scheme. So I can take it to 3. I need to do it one more time. So I will discard Relentless Assault and chase them down to do it one more time. I'll take 2 off of this one, it doesn't matter really, and 2 off of this one. It's because I need to stay in thwart mode at least one more turn until I can get my players upright. So I will draw to 6. And I will unexhaust my cards. And pass the turn. So the first thing we do is we put threat on the scheme. And he gets 2, and he gets to add 1, so that's 3. And then 2 more from the villains. That's 7. So 1 more and they win again. And the encounter card is each Masters of Evil minion attacks the hero it is engaged with. So he attacks for 3 and then he gets tough. So that skips it to me. I'm going to discard Hellcarrier to draw 2. I'm going to use the Avengers Mansion to draw 1 more, and I'm going to use Carol's Power to draw 1 more. Let's see if I can pull the rabbit out of the hat here. I don't think so, but we can see. So switch to Captain Marvel. Attack Klaw for 3, which takes care of this one and goes to number 2. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Immortal Klaw and reveal it. That's another side scheme. The Immortal Klaw. Klaw's Mastery of Sound allows him to restore his solid form through sheer power of will. So this comes on with 3. And he gains 10 hit points. So his form is 18, so he's at 28 right now. All right. So we're going to pay 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury. Nick Fury, I can draw 3 cards, deal 4 damage to an enemy, or remove 2 threat from a scheme. I'm going to remove 2 threat from this scheme. And use Tigra to remove 1 more threat, which puts Klaw back to 18. Going to use Genius and Photonic Blast for 3 to deal 5 damage to an enemy. Deal 5 damage to the Klaw. Actually, that's not the right way. I did it this way. Should have been uppercut. Sorry. It doesn't matter either way. And then it's 2 and 3 for uppercut again. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And that's all I can do. So as soon as I pass the turn, he wins.